this week. It was a relatively calm day for the forced evacuations compared to yesterday's violent confrontations when it took soldiers the entire day to remove hundreds of protesters holed up in a synagogue. The demonstrators resorted to throwing sand, oil, even acid at the troops. At least 41 police and soldiers, along with 17 civilians, were injured. Well, here to talk about it are Craig's List founder Craig Newmark, Father Jonathan Morris, a Fox News Vatican contributor, and radio talk show host Mike Scinto. Gentlemen, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Father, I will start with you. Was this pullout a good idea?
Well, Paige, you know, I think it's a complicated issue, and I think more than just the political process of whether it was the right decision, what I find is amazing is that here we have is the supreme leader of the Palestinian Authority and that of Israel working together on a political process to achieve political peace. And that's what we have to be very grateful for. Whether it was the perfect decision or not, time will tell. But we need leaders in the Middle East, and I'm very happy that these two leaders have at least made this choice to keep going forward.
Craig, a lot of people say that Ariel Sharon gave in to terrorists. What do you think?
I think he's just doing what he thinks is the right thing for his folks. And me, see, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I've spoken to a guy in a group who's spoken to tens of thousands of Israelis and Palestinians, something called One Voice. The real news is that, again, tens of thousands of Palestinians and Israelis are saying, hey, we all want peace, we all want a reasonable deal, but we're not sure about the other guys, and no one talks to the moderates.
What will be the political fallout from this, Mike?
Well, I think, Paige, it's a noble effort. There's no question about it, a noble effort. But what it's done is it's divided Israelis. You saw Israeli army dragging out Israeli citizens, screaming, fighting. One of the most gut-wrenching things that I've seen in a long time. And for what good? Hamas, organization that recruits kids to strap bombs on and blow individuals up on buses, in markets, and this to me just shows a sign of weakness.
Mike, do you think that this changed the landscape in the war on terror?
Do you mind if I interrupt there for just a second?
Please.
You know what? Division is not the worst thing, Mike. You know, sometimes leaders need to step in and say, even though people are not going to vote for me, even though there's going to be division even among my constituents, I need to be a leader and I need to take a step. And if this is going to bring long-term peace, it's worth it.
But Father, Father, again, we're talking about an organization in Hamas and many of the Palestinians who don't care. They don't care about nobility. They don't care about peace. They care. And the next move is Jerusalem. They want Jerusalem. It's the next step, and we've shown weakness. The Israelis have shown weakness already.
Guys, the people on the ground, what they say is that they overwhelmingly want peace. The folks at Hamas, the extremists of both sides, they're a tiny minority. Most of the people are pretty reasonable. They want a reasonable deal for peace, and they want to get it over with.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I see this marking the beginning of a new era of violence.
Gentlemen, I'm so sorry. We have breaking news. We have to cut this discussion short. As we have been telling you, Vioxx, the jury in the Vioxx trial has reached a verdict. We're going to be hearing what that verdict is momentarily. We are waiting. Of course, this is the first civil trial involving the once popular painkiller Vioxx. It was taken off the market last year. This is a 12-person jury. It's a civil trial. They've spent a month hearing evidence in this case, and it was actually launched by the widow of a man who died suddenly in his sleep in 2001. And actually, his wife claimed that his taking Vioxx for several months was what had caused his death. And we're now hearing that Merck says it plans to appeal the verdict. The jury rules Merck was negligent in the death of that Texas man. The jury is ruled that Merck, the pharmaceutical company, the maker of Vioxx, was negligent in the death of this Texas man. Let's go right now to Brenda Butner for the very latest. Brenda.